Hey, what is up, guys? It's Thornton here from Unpacking Grace, and we are doing something super exciting today as we are launching a new segment. It's called Not the Bible, and essentially what the segment is about is that we've noticed that there's been a lot of labels and tags placed on Christianity, and not necessarily because of something that's said in the Bible, but rather how certain Christians have portrayed it. And so we're going to be looking at topics such as Christianity, the judgemental religion, Christianity, the hypocritical religion, Christianity, the money-making scheme, and Christianity, the cult. And you see, this is a segment that's quite close to my heart because, you see, when I was younger, I had someone portray an image of God to me, and I believed them. And, this image of God for me made me angry, and I became resentful towards God. And it was only many years later when I started reading the Bible for myself that I realized that this God that I was angry with was not the God of the Bible, but rather a God that I'd made up in my own head. And so what we want to do with the series is, first of all, validate and acknowledge that these things do happen and that you're not wrong for noticing them. But at the same time, we do also want to establish a biblical worldview and get to a point where we can see that it's not the Bible that's the root of these issues, but instead Christians that have poorly presented or misrepresented the biblical worldview, either intentionally or unintentionally, that has caused these labels and tags to be placed on Christianity. We also want to look at how a genuine Christian could be misunderstood, and hopefully by the end of the series come to a middle ground where, if you're a Christian watching this, you'll have a better understanding of the biblical perspective and have a better understanding of how to present it correctly. Also have a better understanding of how to deal with the situation where Christianity is being misrepresented. So having said that, we do need to establish two fundamental understandings leading into the series. And so the first of the understanding is that we as Christians are not surprised when we hear about someone who claims to be a Christian misrepresenting Christianity, because you see, Jesus predicted this and he explained this, and this was even before the church was established. Jesus gives us this parable about the wheat and the tares. And so Jesus tells this parable of how a farmer sends his servants out to go and plant wheat. But when his servants return the next morning, they find that a bunch of tares had been sown in amongst all the wheat. And so they go back to the farmer and they say, and they tell him that a bunch of wheat has now been planted. What could possibly have happened? And the farmer explains to them that an enemy must have come in the middle of the night and planted the tares amongst the wheat. Fortunately for us, Jesus explains this parable, and he tells us that the wheat represents true Christians, people who truly believe in him, whereas the tares represent people planted by the enemy, false Christians and false believers. And so our definition of what a true Christian would be is someone who truly believes in Jesus, and that belief is evidenced by the way that they live their lives. Whereas a false Christian would be someone who claims to believe in Jesus, but their lives are contradictory to that belief. And so anyone who leads people away from faith in Jesus would be someone who is a tare. All right, so I'm sure you can understand this, that if you were a wolf trying to catch sheep, most likely you would dress up like a sheep in order to catch sheep. And so we have this saying, wolf in sheep's clothing. And so it makes sense that if you were a wicked person or an evil person looking to do harm to others, you'd want to wear a mask that makes you look harmless. And what better than Christianity, which is a religion of peace and love? Another fundamental understanding that we need to hold in the series is that we can't label everyone who makes a mistake a tare or a wolf in sheep's clothing. And so we have this understanding as Christians that even though we've given our lives over to Christ and we're being changed continuously, we still make mistakes and we still sin. And so we have this understanding that we are all sinners. And if you want to find out more about that, you can check out our video, What Does Sinner Mean? But ultimately, as Christians, we believe that we are all sinners, and we remember that all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, Romans 3:23. And so from the Christian perspective, we are all sinners, whether Christian or not. And it's for that very reason that we need a Savior. And while we understand that we can't help ourselves. And so part of this understanding is that we as Christians, we do get it wrong sometimes, and we don't always get it right. But we understand that whatever is found in the Bible is the true and correct Christian view. So in summation, we are super excited to be rolling out this segment to you guys, and we really hope to create some engaging content that is of true value to you guys. And so we're excited to hear your thoughts. Let us know what you think, and engage with us. We're excited to speak with you. But most importantly, hit that subscribe button and click on that bell icon to ensure that you don't miss any of the content coming up in the series, because it's not one you want to miss. All the very best, guys. Catch you next time. Cheers.